So I don't know if you know, but there's this rumor going around that the government or some entity will do a buyback scheme for your XRP. Because essentially, if XRP is not supposed to be for the retail investor, that's me and you, and it's only supposed to be for the banking institutions and those large companies, one train of thought would be that eventually you have to get retail out of XRP. How do you get retail out of XRP? The vast majority. That's what we're going to be discussing in this video today. And also, the main topic of this video is actually why the buyback scheme doesn't work. And it won't work. And it doesn't need to work. It doesn't even need to happen. So if an entity wants to do this buyback scheme, they would essentially offer every retail investor the opportunity to sell their XRP at a higher price than it is currently. I don't know how this would work, but I do know there is a side chain of Ripple where you've got, it's like a private chain and then there's a public chain. We're on the public chain. Things that happen on the private chain don't need to be public. They're actually not public. And so you can actually have pre-agreed terms and stuff on these side chains. I'm not sure if that could link into like a buyback scheme or something, but I've been seeing numbers from kind of $35 all the way up to $500 for this buyback scheme. Even if the price of XRP is at 30 cents, which we're about there right now, they could still offer you $500 for every XRP token. You're obviously now running the maths and you're thinking, oh man, $500, if they just offered me $500, what chance is there I'm actually going to say no to that? It's very small. So the buyback would be extremely effective. I think 99.99% of people would actually take the offer on a buyback. I think people with 99% would take the offer on a buyback at $35. And you're doing the maths right now, running that in your head. How many XRP tokens do I have? How much would it be worth at $35? How much would it be worth at $500? The vast likelihood is that if you're not out by 35, you will take the 500 and you'll run with that, right? So they would shake out, it would be effective, it would shake out the vast majority, I'm talking almost 100%. There will always be people who say, no, XRP is going to 10,000, I don't want to take my 500. I'll wait till 10,000. And who knows if they'll be right or not, right? I know that if I was offered 500 for XRP, I would be out, right? I'm in this to have financial freedom. That would grant me financial freedom. I do believe that Ripple would take over the world, and it will take over the world. I just want to make sure that I'm on the right side of this, right? I don't want to see the price go way up, hold on thinking it's going to go higher, when I could have been financially free already. I just want to reach the financially free mark. As soon as I get to that mark, I don't need anything else, right? I don't need more. And so they would shake me out. I'm not like an XRP maxi, you know, I'm not going to hold regardless. I have to align my goals here, and I think you have your own goals as well. However, I don't believe that the buyback scheme would actually ever be a thing. And it's very simple. We are right now in the shift of a whole financial system, right? When we transition from glass beads into gold, and then we transition from gold into paper, you know, there's those levels, there's transfers of wealth that happen in those times where we change financial systems. There's a handful of people that get very, very rich in that transition, and then they become the old money over time. So people who've made their money in crypto will become old money at one point, until it changes again into another system. And in that change of systems, there's another transfer of wealth and another group of people who go from not being massively rich to being massively rich, right? And I want to break down the numbers of what that actually looks like and what I think about this buyback scheme, and I think you'll agree with me. So the first thing we need to tackle is how many millionaires there are in the world right now. Right? Because we're talking about a global thing here. This isn't just the US, it's not just the UK. Blockchain will take over the whole world. So if we look at how many millionaires there are right now, this is how I break it down in my mind. There's 20.2 million millionaires, okay? So let's bear that in mind first. 20.2 millionaires. And you think, okay, why is that important? Well, some of these people were probably involved in the last massive switch in the world. That last massive switch being the dot-com bubble, right? So there were people that invested in domains and made lots of money. There's people who invested in companies who were online that made a lot of money. Let's say Amazon. That made millionaires. It may have even made billionaires from the investors. When there's these huge events, these huge transitions in the globe, millionaires and billionaires are made. And sorry, I made a mistake. There's about 56.1 million millionaires in the world, 20.2 millionaires in the US. I misread that. Doesn't even matter. So that's my question. What would be a reasonable amount that you would add to that millionaires list? How many people would be reasonable to add to that millionaires list in the shift of a whole global system changing? right? This is a huge transfer of wealth. We know people get rich. So when we talk about XRP, for example, getting to the levels of like $10,000, that's making millionaires. That's making billionaires, right, in this space. So if there was a buyback scheme and that buyback scheme was at $500 for every XRP, you would need 2,000 tokens to become a millionaire. You would be added to that list if you have 2,000 tokens or more. So let's basically say that if you have 2,000 tokens, you're in the top 10% of holders. And if there's 1,884,000 holders of XRP, that means there's 188,000 people with more than 2,700 tokens. Remember that number, 188,000 people that will become millionaires at a $500 buyback. So I come back to my question. What do you think a reasonable amount of new millionaires there would be? And remember, not all of these would just become millionaires. Some of them would become billionaires. If you have in the top 1% of XRP holders, those have more of a chance of becoming billionaires. What is a reasonable amount of added millionaires to this whole total? So you say the world has 56 million millionaires already. Well, adding 188,000 millionaires in the transition of the whole globe seems very reasonable to me. And the way I take that information, you might be different. If there are so few people who are going to actually take this transition, individuals that would make this transition from basically normal person to millionaire with XRP, for me, if I was an institution, that would kind of be a waste of money buying all those tokens back at $500, when really it's not made that much of an impact on the global scale in terms of how many millionaires there are. So adding 188,000 new millionaires to the world as a result of XRP being at $500, that's an increase of 0.33% on the overall millionaires in the globe. That's nothing. What do you think a financial institution would rather do? Pay $500 per token to buy retail out, or just leave those retailers in? They made a good decision. They got caught up in it all. Eventually, when the price goes up, they'll probably leave on their own. I just think it makes more sense for them to leave us be to make our own decision, considering there's such a small amount of us in XRP, and they just carry on with whatever they want to do. Yes, you can take away XRP from exchanges and make it very difficult for us to buy, maybe even impossible to buy. But the fact that 188,000 new millionaires will be made makes no difference in the world. It makes no difference to them. I think it would be different if there were millions of people holding enough money to be millionaires. Then it starts to get a bit strange, because then you're really changing the balance of the world. But then again, even if there are millions of people that would qualify, then we're not even really making a dent on that number anyway. In my opinion, a real shift in the whole world, obviously I'm just talking about XRP, and the rest of crypto will also make new millionaires as well, not doubting that. But the way I look at it, XRP has the most potential to create the most millionaires. And so that's why I'm only talking about XRP. In my opinion though, it kind of seems reasonable if you added all the way up to kind of 30% new millionaires in the world from a global transition into a new system. To me, that would raise the levels up to kind of 76 million, would make sense to me in this situation. So the fact that we would only be going up kind of 200,000 new millionaires, there's nothing. I think they'll let us be. I don't think there's going to be a buyback. It doesn't make sense. When the price gets to $10, when the price gets to $20, when the price gets to 100, when it gets to 1,000, most of the retail that are holding in that top 10% are going to be out anyway. They've already made the money to change their lives. They've already decided, actually, this is enough, I'm taking out. In reality, if the price ever gets into 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000, if it ever got to 10,000, the vast majority, it will basically be everyone, will be out of XRP anyway, on the retail side. So I just wanted to raise that, and it's kind of my thought process as to why I don't think an XRP buyback even makes sense. And I guess my thing for you is try to accumulate as much as you can with XRP. Remember my rules. Put the 21 moving average, that's on the monthly chart. Every time we've been below the line, it's been a bear market, it's been the ultimate time to accumulate. So I break that down further. Every time there's a red week, so every Sunday, look to see what the week has done. Is it a red week? If it's a red week, allocate between 6 to 7% of your capital that you have ready to go. Remember that dollar amount, because that's how much you'll invest every single red week for as long as we're under this line. If you can do that, and you can be accumulating coins that make sense to be part of this transition of the whole globe, that's the time to do it, and that's what people need to be doing. Obviously, you're looking at the Bitcoin chart to inform your decisions about the other coins. I believe there could be a switch when this SEC case changes, and let's say there is a switch turned on and all the institutions come flooding in, or at least they switch on the technology and XRP goes through the roof. I think at that point, the charts, they won't marry up with each other. I don't think Bitcoin will have the hold on XRP anymore. Obviously, XRP will go crazy and stay stable at a high price and won't be affected by the price of Bitcoin. But until then, we still work within those confines. The market seems to be turning back. XRP will shortly follow today, but that's all short-term movements. We're not worried about that. We're looking on the monthly scale. Anytime we're below this line and it's a red week, that's when we're buying. And for me personally, I'm buying XRP. So videos to come on this channel. I will be calculating how much the XRP price will go up if we compare it to SWIFT transactions. SWIFT is the whole system in the financial system that Ripple is actually overturning and nullifying. All the issues with SWIFT is what Ripple is solving. SWIFT currently controls the world. So if XRP is such a better technology and makes more sense to save more money for banks, which it does, we need to calculate what global transactions are and compare that to what XRP's transactions are, and then look at recent movements in XRP to see how much big whale investments affect the price. From then, we might be able to get a gauge on where XRP's price can go if we take not 10%, 20%, 30%, all the way up to all of SWIFT's reach across the world. That's one video coming up soon. Another video will be asking more difficult questions about why isn't XRP moving? Why aren't the institutions around the world not investing? Could it be the SEC case? I don't know, but I'm going to try and answer it. Lots of research on XRP over the last 2 weeks. It's been so much fun. I know more about XRP than I thought I ever would. If you've ever got any questions or you have information that could help the rest of the community and me learn more about Ripple, please put those in the comments. And if you're interested in being part of the community on our Discord server, click join just below. It's right next to the subscribe button. You might as well subscribe while you're at it. It starts at just £3 a month and goes all the way up to kind of monthly one-on-one video calls with me. So I say it again, it's very difficult to stay emotionless out there, but try to be emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.